I hope we're live. Anybody out there, they see me, maybe they can tell me. Let me see if I can get my side panel up so I won't have to move so much stuff. My Exor camera there. Okay. Tonight we're going to talk about this pandemic. We're going to talk about uh, the transition from Biden, from Trump to Biden. Just a few bit odds and end things. Will be peaceful transition, whatever. You know what I'm saying. My channel. Let me see what we got here. Okay, that ain't working. Gotta figure out how to get to there. Okay, let's go back a ways. Uh, that should do it. I don't know why it ain't. Oh, let's see this way. Your channel. Maybe that'll work. There's one way to get to it somehow. There we go. Get to it somehow. Then I gotta turn that down. Now I can just read the questions off here. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for a lot of people. I mean, I think no matter who won, I don't know where there'd be as big a holler over Biden losing than there was Trump losing. But still, it is what it is. So basically, we got to go from there. So, and there's a lot of scenarios. I've been watching a lot of preppers, and they're saying, do you got enough food for the next 3 months? I'm saying you need to go worry about after the 3 months, in my opinion. Which it's going to be semi erratic between now and January the 20th, I believe it is. But what happens after that? I mean, let's say he didn't leave, or he starts a coup, or it's just not a peaceful transition. So that's something we got to look at as individuals, And a lot of people ain't got no money. They're barely making by and worried about getting or keeping a roof over their head or their car payments paid and all the other stuff. But I'm saying, uh, you know, if he doesn't leave peacefully and start something like a coup or a military stay in power or whatever, it could be. Well, we had a bunch of civil war we had over in America. The North and South Koreas had a civil war. North and South Vietnam. We've had civil wars in other countries. No, I'm not putting you up on my lap. Another thing, are dogs a help or a hindrance? He thinks he's a help. He just wants to get up here and start stuff. Like some people I know. But to me, being prepared is like the only thing I'm really low on is dog food. I know. We've only got a few 100 pounds. We need more for you little eating chihuahuas. You're doing good, baby. You ain't going to leave me alone, are you? You used to see this preacher. Now, how would you like that staring at your face? You're on camera. You are on camera. Yes, you are. You're on camera. You got to get you some dye and get rid of that gray hair. You got to get rid of that gray hair. You're looking old. I think you're about 12, 15 years old. But nowadays, it is going to be hard on people. Let me get you back here on top of my computer. And that's what it is. It's going to be real hard on people that hasn't got any. Okay, come on. See, he's going to tell everybody else I'm boss. Now go on before I put you in a cat cage. He is a mess, I'll tell you. Yeah, I decided I was going to monetize my channel. And I've got a PayPal card that I've had for years. And I've never used it. All it does is take $5 a month off of my stuff. Yes, I did. It wasn't a water heater. It was just a pipe. So that's something else I had to look into. I didn't have to buy a new water heater. I just had to buy a new pipe. So that was good. We got to take the water heater back. So that was really saved me. But I got me a new watch. This one here is it does everything the other one does, but it's smaller and it's easier to charge. And it's on my phone instead of my son's. So I got two watches like that. I got a lot of 10 wristwatches. In the future, like I said, my son, he's we're talking about some things we've been buying here lately. Now, I've had this old thing for years. Actually, my son got it for me a long time ago. And he didn't like it. It's a night vision scope. And that's what it is. And it's heavy. Get it on there, right? And see there? And when you push that, it'll show up red. That's a red instead of white. But it also shows you the temperature, night vision, all kinds of things that it does. And it ain't too expensive, but it's expensive enough. And it's got a case it comes in. So you can see people going across your lawn in the middle of the night. Now this here, that was mine. Now he bought him this one. This one records. I'll get this thing straightened up here. It records this one he bought because he had to outdo me. I said, that's fine. Sorry about the noise. And it comes in, it's about 20% the size of the other one. See, it's a little bitty sucker. Here's the name of it. I don't have a Amazon affiliate, and I'm not promoting anything. I'm just saying what I got and what I do. Night vision is great. At least it lets you see what's coming at you. And that's, well, I can't afford that. And there's a lot of people that can't afford certain toys and games and so on and so forth. And I understand that. I'm not stupid. I understand that, it's tight times right now. And let me put it up. But I tell you what I did use before then. See this thing here? It tells you the Fahrenheit 77 degrees my screen is. And now you can point that out and it'll go a long ways and it'll tell you what the temperature is out there. So if you see something in the bush, of course, now it's going to be showing you just where you are too, because they can follow the red dot back. But it'll tell you the temperature. Now, if they're 98.6 or pretty close to that, you got a human. So on and so forth. And you can read up what a cow is and so on and so forth. I got this to check the bearings on my car when I need grease the oil. And I'll just show you a couple of toys we got. He's got ordered him a bunch of plastic collapsible buckets. He said I go the old 5-gallon routine bucket, but he likes collapsibles. What else did I get? I got a bunch of stuff. And let me see. I think everybody needs one that's handheld GPSs. Yeah, I think everybody needs one of those GPSs. Can you read it? Now, this is mine. Walkie-talkies are good. Even if you ain't got none of that stuff, when the war was raging in Vietnam, Korea, and this, that, and the other, they made all kinds of booby traps, and even the Japanese, they made all kinds of booby traps and everything else. You leave the human mind out there, and it'll come up with a way to basically defend itself. Why that put it up? I gotta read somebody. Now we're in the hell in that other. I gotta get my. Let me see what that last comment was. Okay. Well, it's just whatever you feel safe about. I mean, there was all kinds of booby traps and stuff in during the war that they made. They made it out of car parts. They made it out of any kind of part that they could find. They had traps people fell in with bamboo stakes, stabs, and everything else. I'm hoping that it don't get bad enough that you have to booby trap your yard or anything like that. Hello, Jan. Uh, but like I said, we've got to be prepared on the food. We've got to be prepared on energy. A generator or whatever. We want our lives to go as close to normal as we can get. And like I said, it's up to you. Like I said, if I see somebody coming across the lawn with this night vision and it's dark, this, that, and the other, now it's up to me if I want to engage. You know what I'm saying? If they're not doing anything, this, that, and the other, why would you want to start a conflict for somebody just cutting across your property? I mean, if they smash the grass or break a tree limb or kill a shrub or a dandelion, it'll grow back. It ain't worth your life. Let it go. You know, that's what I'm getting at. But now if they start trying to steal, rob, or molest or whatever, it's hard right now for women, especially nowadays, because a lot of them don't feel safe. They're not feeling safe. Even if they call the police, they're not feeling safe, especially if they're ethnic or whatever, or descent or whatever, they're just not feeling safe. So therefore, our safety, we're going to have to bring it upon ourselves to make ourselves feel a lot safer. Now, this pandemic, yes, you should wear gloves, mask, everything you possibly could do. It might be 2 years before we get the vaccine to the common people. The elderly, the sick, and the infirm, they'll probably get it first after the medical and the doctors, doctors and nurses and medical and military personnel. So therefore, we're getting way down there on the list, especially if you're young, healthy, so on and so forth. And it might mutate 5 or 6 times. I remember the booby traps that they laid during the Vietnam and Korea War. They used razor wire, barbed wire, all kinds of reels that slung across the ground. Used tree limbs as booby traps. They used almost everything you can imagine. And they did a lot of that in the Civil War, our American Civil War. I'm just hoping that other countries don't find us vulnerable in this last 70 days or 69 days of transition. And that's what a lot of it has to do, that without keeping somebody informed and so on and so forth. So we'll just have to basically try to protect ourselves. Let me see what we got here. Just who did I vote for? Well, I told everybody I voted for Santa Claus. I did vote Democrat. I'm not a Democrat, but I did vote Democrat on some things, and I voted Republican on others. And I even voted for Independent on another deal. There's more to voting just than the president. And that's more or less is your point of view. It's just one person's point of view. Hush. Big boy, there's nothing coming at me. He can hear things a lot better than I can. But there's more than just one point of view. I mean, I respect the Democrats. I respect the Republicans. I mean, and they all voted for different things, If you like Trump, vote for him. If you like Biden, vote for him. I think it's a free election, and you should vote for whoever you like or whoever you feel comfortable with. Now, let's say I'm a Biden person or I'm a Trump person, and the other person that my dearest friend voted for, let's say, Biden. Okay, I can live with that. I mean, that's his personal opinion. Has nothing to do with my personal opinion. Well, that's probably true too. It does matter who wins and their point of view. If they're let's say that if they're very liberal or if they're very conservative. I'm more worried about the day to day. My mayor, my justice of the peace, the judges in my area, who's going to be chief of police. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to be when the sheriff's, part, stuff like that. I don't think basically that the presidency up there that high up in office, I don't think did Trump do us any good? I don't know. He probably done some people good and some people not. The thing that I liked about Trump is that he did sort of put a halter on the Chinese, that free trade. Now, the other stuff, not so much. I didn't like it. Same way with Biden. Well, he stayed there 47 years. They should have run on what he voted for, this, that, and the other, but you'd have to go back and do the research yourself to see what came up in his long term, being a senator or so, whatever, and a vice president, what he actually voted on. That's what I would have brought out more. If I'd have been a Trump, I would have brought out, well, that he voted for this in 1991 or this, that, and the other. You know what I'm saying? I'd have stayed with the issues. He might have got more votes. Now, the American people are not going to like 100% shutdown like they're doing in some of these other countries. You're not allowed to go out. You're not allowed to do anything, blah, blah, blah. Well, the American people love their freedom. This is the land of the free. So I can understand that. I like my freedom. I like getting up and, let's say, I don't have to go to the store, but I want to get out and go to a thrift store or garage sale or department store or I got to buy me a new dryer. So I'm going to go get out and go do that. Well, if they claim they're non-essentials, like Lowe's or Builder Square or any of the other stuff, Home Depot or whatever, then yeah, that's not going to be too good. Well, you could order it online. Well, what if they claim that's non-essential? It's just we'll have to wait and see. But what I'm trying to say right now, if you don't hoard, because I'm bad about that, but I've been hoarding for years, way before something hit. I've got the 5 or 6 cases of toilet paper and all the other crap, and all kinds of gadgets. But buy what you need because it'll be there tomorrow. But I would buy enough stuff, packages of beans, this, that, and the other, because I think it's going to be that we're going to need it after the takeover, then up until Biden steps into office. I think it's going to be that way, me personally. Well, polio virus, when they first came out, I think it gave some people the polio because it didn't have perfected. Now it's just like this virus. They got 2 or 3, Russia's even got one. And they say it's 93%. We got one that's 80%. I think it's going to give some people the coronavirus, and some people it's going to protect them from it. It's not perfected yet. There's a lot of drugs out there that has a tremendous amount of side effects. Okay, we have to live with it. It's still up to you if you want to take the virus shot. It's up to you if you want to wear a mask. They can make that mandatory for public health. It's like the health department can quarantine a whole city. Yeah, they can quarantine the nation if they wish. Actually, the health department has more power than the president of the United States. They just don't enact it because of their political values and this, that, and the other, because they might be tremendous repercussions. Me personally, I want this shit over with. Let's see here. Well, I understand that. A lot of old people and I consider myself old. In August, I'll be 90. I'm thinking, well, if it even gives me the slightest tendency of the virus, I might have been better off just stay at home, stay away from people, and do my protection that way. Uh, I'd love to see my great grandkids and my great grandkids, my grandkids too, and my kids, but it's not safe, and it's not safe more on myself than it is for them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I see them on Skype, and I see them on, they drove by and I waved at them. They stayed in the car, and I stayed back about 50, 75 feet. I didn't get no closer than that. And I was upwind from them. Basically, the wind was blowing about 5 to 7 mile an hour. So basically, all of us were safe. But yes, I miss hugging them and this, that, and the other. And who wouldn't? I love little old kids, but I don't want a full dose of them either. But that's what I'm getting at. It's just, what can we do to protect ourselves and make our lives better? That's basically why I wanted on this video. Do we need to go full camo? Do we need to, uh, uh, set up booby traps around our house to keep people from robbing and killing and whatever? I mean, it's like them two people, they're still fighting legal litigations over using a gun to keep people off their property. I don't know where. I ain't worried so much about property. You can buy that stuff back. I'm worried about myself. Oh, Jan, let me read it. Okay. Yeah, we are. Yeah, on the most wanted list. We're also on the endangered species list too. The elderly are. It's just, what do you think you need to do? I think you need plenty of supplies if you have to stay in 30 to 45 days. You know, it's just like, okay, what if you have to quarantine yourself for 14 to 21 days? Do you have everything you need? You know, I don't believe it's got down to where you need to put razor wire around your house and everything else. At one time, I had a piece of property that had 12-foot fence, had the leaning post out like that, and I had turned 3 strands of 4 bob wire across the front of it. It was a shop, and people kept climbing over and stealing stuff. And I thought I got irritated at it, and I just shut the shop down. But anyway, if we had to live like that, I don't know where I would really enjoy that much, or would have to live in a bunker, or in a cellar, or on a high-rise building with blocked, turned off elevators and blocked stairways and all this other stuff. Mm. Only thing he's worried about with Biden. I don't believe he can do that. I don't believe anybody in America would be able to change the Constitution where we're not allowed to bear arms and this, that, and the other. I don't think that'll ever happen. I don't think we're going to have. Now, there's some regulations. Yes, I think we should have our guns registered. I think that we should have training. We should take up a training class if you've never been in the military or in armed forces or the police department. A lot of people buy a gun. Anybody buy a gun, really. Or do they need one? Do they know how to handle one? Or they got mental issues, this, that, and the other? You wouldn't want to give a handicapped, let's say a Down syndrome child, a gun and them harm themselves. I think there is steps you need to take for gun safety. Now, do we need to? I don't believe we should keep guns out of the hands of people, period. And I want my neighbor to have as many guns as he feels safe. That's but on my channel, I might show night vision. I might even show you shells, but I ain't never going to show you no guns. I think that's personal between you and your maker and your constitution and what you feel safe as. And besides that, I don't think it's just nobody's business if you got an AK-47 or a Beretta or a slingshot. I don't, to me, you're not going to do away with guns in America. They didn't do them away with in Europe. Like in the UK, you have to just have a special permit to get one. Okay. There's still hunting clubs over there in England and Canada and everything else. You know. But I do believe that we need to be responsible citizens, especially in America. We lead the country. We should have enough brains to how to use a gun. Oh, come on now. I'm trying to read that last comment. But that's what I'm saying. It's just awful hard, to be subjective. Let me read this up here. Yeah, I don't like the idea of taking anybody's rights away. No. It's just like somebody said, well, Biden's going to do away with gasoline cars. Well, we got gasoline four-wheelers, we got gasoline lawnmowers, we got gasoline weed eaters. I don't think that it'll take something longer and more than do away with all the cars and just or anything, any gasoline engine, combustible engine. Let's put it that way. I don't think it'll happen. Now, do we need to turn more to solar and wind energy and hydroelectric like they did Boulder Dam and all these other? Of course we do. We need to cover all of our bases. I don't know what happened to my deal here. Oh, well, it came up there. Let me see if I can just say hi. Let me see if my things are working here. Thank you for the comments. Let's see, okay, let's see if it'll come up there. Come up on my phone. Let's see if it's going to come up here. Here we go. It's coming up. All right. What does people think that they need to do to make them feel more safe and more prepared at home? Because it's up to us. You call 911, you're liable to bleed to death before they get there. Yeah, we need something to make us get along. I get along with human people, no matter what they have a right to their opinion. And I ain't gonna say if they're right or they're wrong, because time will tell. And that's what I'm looking at. Like I said, yes, I did vote for Biden this year, but it was on a completely different reason than that I would have voted for Trump. I just got to the point that we can't deny that the virus is out there. We just can't deny it. And then we need to do something. And I ain't saying Biden's my man either. I mean, we didn't have very many choices, I mean, I should have voted for Fauci. And I'd rather vote for a scientist. Yes, we need to quit waiting for FEMA to come and rescue us. How much has FEMA saved the people in the hurricanes or the tornadoes and stuff? They ain't done all that good. It's like sinking in quicksand and nobody comes along and gets you. And God says, well, I sent three different things to get you, and you was waiting for something else. I don't know what you was waiting for. I think what you need to be is waiting on yourself. If it makes you feel safe to do things like put extra bars on the windows or better locks on your doors, okay. But I don't think it's to the point where we need razor wire to keep people out. Not yet. And some of these preppers they're using the scare tactic. So you'll buy their stuff, or I think common sense is Okay, we've been as bad off, if not worse, during the Spanish flu, the Depression, World War One, World War Two, the Vietnam War. We've had unrest in this country more than once. Now, is it that bad again? Because a president won't recognize another president, or is the coronavirus got that bad? You need to research how many people died of the Spanish flu or died of the Depression, just starved death, flat ass starved death. I think what we need to do, if we have to shut down some jobs, I think we could open up more jobs in different, like picking up trash. Let's say they issue you 2 miles of roadway, because there's millions and millions of miles of roadway in the United States. And your job is picking up trash from point A to point B and putting it at the curb. Okay, you're all by yourself. You're out there picking up trash, and they provide you with a thing to pick it up with and a trash bag and a tie. And then they got another guy hired to come by with a little pinchers and pick it up and put it in the trash. That's something similar to that. Of course, you wouldn't need extra people with you. It's something similar that they had to the WPA. They built roads, bridges, all kinds of stuff. You know, and it doesn't take much intelligence to pick up trash. Biden's already elected, but I don't believe it'll be a civil war. I think a civil war has to be cause of the people, not a government. You see what I'm saying? If you want to be a white supremacist, then, but then you run across somebody that's taking the blunt of a white, an ethnic group that's taking the blunt of the white supremacists. I think individuals what causes a civil war. I don't think it started at a government level. I think they can invoke it by stupidity, ignorance, and so on and so forth. But you got to be basically prejudice, and this, that, and the other is taught. It is ain't a God's gift. If you're taught to hate your neighbor, then you're going to hate your neighbor. If you're taught to hate blacks, or blacks are taught to hate whites, then that's a taught deal. You can make the decision, well, I like my neighbor. Oh, okay, he voted for Trump. Okay, that's great. My other neighbor voted for Santa Claus. That's great. That's his right. I don't believe a civil war, what would cause a civil war basically is not recognizing who's in legal office. Yes, if the person wants to recount the votes 15 times and they still lost, he still lost, whichever way it is. I mean, I didn't vote for Trump the first time, but did I get upset? No. I've seen more presidents come and go than Carter's got little liver pills. And that they're only in there 4 to 8 years. You see what I'm saying? And there's going to be another one, and then there's going to be another one. Then there's going to be another one. I think they should do away with Democrat, Republican, or any organization thing. I think what they should do is, vote wide spectrum, not put a label on somebody. You know what I'm saying? That'd be like saying Catholic or Protestant. That already starts a conflict. Yes, they're legally allowed to recount. I want them to recount every vote. I want legitimacy. Now, but you got to accept if the vote's not there, and there is going to be a few cases. They think they found 100 and some odd cases in all 50 states, but hell, that ain't enough to change the election. Now, if they found tens of thousands, maybe so, but 150, 300 people or whatever, that ain't going to change nothing. It won't change nothing at all. My sister voted by mail, and she had to turn around and they sent it back, and she had to recorrect the stuff and have it notarized and send it back. I waited till election day and went down there. Now, this is what happened to me on election day. I live in Oklahoma. It's a Republican state. Okay, I went in there and they asked for identification. I gave my driving license. They checked it out. And then I signed the paper, my name. And then the woman that was supposed to hand me the ballots, they're sitting side by side. She seen me sign. She said, "Did you sign the paper?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Are you senior or junior?" I said, "Well, with my name, I hope there's not another one." So a junior. I wouldn't name my kid that. So I'm the senior. Well, it doesn't say here senior. I said, "Well, trust me, I'm the only one named that way." So she gave me back my driving license. And then she said, "Do you need any help?" She seen my age, you know. And said, "Do you need any help filling out the ballot?" I said, "No, ma'am. I can read and I understand, the ballot." She tried everything to get me some help to basically do the ballot. And then they were playing Trump music in there. Everybody had the Trump hats on, the Trump banners, and everything else. No Biden, nowhere. Which, that's their right, I guess. Some people said that was illegal, but I don't give a shit. And then when I went there and sat down on the table, because I had my walker, because I knew I had to have someplace to sit down with that long line, uh, that one woman, those two or three women helping people that of my age and older fill out their ballots, and they was just took it away from the person and writing whatever they wanted in there. They didn't even ask the person about this person or that person or this person. They just took the ballot over. And then when you got up there, she said, "Do you want me to put it in there?" This woman standing by the machine. I said, "No, I can just put it in there." I mean, everything in the world to keep me from voting because they knew 9 times out of 10 I was going to vote for Biden, which was fine. I mean, but I think that would be political not correct the way they did me. But I throw a fit? Hell, I don't give a shit. I mean, I can stand up for myself. The point about it is how many people. It's like that one woman was really bad. She just took over that old man's ballot and was putting any damn thing she wanted in there. So in other words, he didn't vote, she did. So that wasn't right. Of course, then they were worried about political fraud and this, that, and the other. Well, to me, that was pretty shady myself. Well, that's true. I didn't think they was allowed to do it, but they did it. So whatever. I got my vote in. One vote don't change anything, but I think it was my right to vote whoever I wanted. I was more concerned about the little offices, like who was going to be, run for Senate, or who was going to be the House of Representatives, who was going to be the judge in our county, who was going to be the sheriff in my county. That's what I was more concerned about. Yeah, that's what I was more concerned about than the presidential. I figured, yeah, that'll work its way out. I would believe right now would be if you're worried about the transition, because I believe Biden is going to shut the country down. He's going to do his best of his ability to close a bunch of stuff to help fight the virus. Now, I believe that's probably the right thing to do right now. But I think a lot of it is how much food have you got on hand. There's a lot of people that's going to have to work unless you're going to give them some more stimulus money, and $1,200 ain't going to do it. You're going to have to give them at least $2,000 a month for 6 months to get this thing under control. You know, so if the government's willing to do that, I'd sit on for $2,000 a month, and a lot of other people will too. But I don't have to worry about the very rich that make over 400,000 a year. They're worried about getting taxed. Okay, well, if you're making that much money, don't worry about it. You're making enough money to survive. You know, Canada, I think, done a real good job. I heard that they was giving their citizens money so they could stay at home. I'm not from Canada, so I don't know. Italy's facing some stuff. Europe is facing a bunch of stuff. It's hard on everybody right now. We don't get this thing around, done, it's liable to kill a bunch of people. Yep, we're allowed to kill a bunch of people. Uh, that's what I'm getting at. It's just, I don't know what's the right call, what ain't the right call. Desert Rat 45. And a lot of people that don't vote don't mean don't have no rights. I mean, hell, the way that things went, I would have been disgusted about it too. But still, they don't mean that they don't have any rights. They're still human beings and they have rights. Rights that God gave them, not especially not what a country gave them, but what God has given them. You have the right to defend yourself in a fight. You have a right to be fed. You have a right to serve what God you wish. You know, we got rights. Now, if you do, and you got a right if you don't want to vote, don't vote. I mean, it's so political corrupt on both sides and around the corner. I can understand people saying, why should I spend my time doing it? You know, I understand that for sure. But on the other hand, like they always say, well, if you didn't vote, you ain't gonna right, you ain't got no room or right to gripe. Well, I still think you got a right to gripe, but I think I don't know. I still think you got a right to gripe to run or what. They did that in Australia. Okay, well, see, their governments are doing stuff. I don't know why our government is supposed to be the richest government in the world and the most, you know, that they can't do better than what they're doing, you know. And I'm going to tell you something. Biden's going to have to stand up and take charge or do something, or he's going to be classified in the same damn boat that the last president. I don't think Trump knew what to do. He had people telling him on both sides, oh, this ain't nothing. Then people said, oh, it's everything. It's just like listening to some of these preppers on YouTube or preppers on anything else. You got to better use your own common sense on a lot of stuff because, you know, you're the one going to have to suffer. You're the one's going to have to die due to the corona. You're the one's going to have to go hungry. You're the one. You're the one. You're the one. You know, that's what I'm getting at. You know, it's like Marie Antoinette. You know, nobody had food and they didn't have bread to eat, and she said, "Well, they don't have bread to eat, then feed them cake." Well, you know what happened to her? They chopped her head off. She was insensitive of people suffering. I was wanting to go to Courtside, Arizona, this year around January or something, and of course I won't be able to get out there or whatever because of the corona. I was going to start building my cabin in Nevada. Well, nobody's working. I mean, even the, there's very few people working, so therefore it's not a right time to start hiring contractors because a lot of contractors are not working due to the coronavirus. So therefore, it limits you who you get to pick and how much they're going to charge. Now, another friend of mine said, well, it's time right now to buy and this, that, and the other because everything's so cheap. Now, I've been buying a lot of stuff on Auction House. And I'm looking at Buyer's Guides. I've been looking at Purple Wave Auction, a lot of places like that. Yeah, and buying land. Now, I bought my land at the beginning of the pandemic. The real estate guy hadn't sold anything in 6 months. And he was behind on his house payment a couple of months, this, that, and the other. And he shot me some good deals that I just couldn't turn down. You know, because I was thinking about land in Arizona, and he talked me into buying land in Nevada. Can't read it from there. I have to go up here. I don't know why they don't want to pay the people to stay home. I mean, uh, You've got a lot of people, and I'll be honest with you, that didn't need a dime. Uh, you know, let's say if they're already drawing Social Security, if they're on disability, did they need extra money? Well, probably not. They would have made it just as well without it. Now, these people that have lost their jobs or so on and so forth, uh, my granddaughter, she works in a lab. She's got 4 children, and she and her husband works in the sanitation department, I believe it is. But the point about it is, they were they didn't lose an hour of work. You know what I'm saying? But they got their, the money that they got, they did buy extra things with it, caught their bills up, so on and so forth. I've not spent a dime of the money that they gave me. It's still in the bank. You know, I mean, I didn't change my life one way or the other. But there's a lot of people that was about to get thrown out on the street. That $1,200 did help. But I think it should be at least 5,000, up to 10,000, and no higher than 20,000. But it should be given to the people that are suffering, because there's a lot of us that really ain't that suffering that much. The only thing I got to do, I'm low on dog food. I've got to buy some more dog food and treats. I worry about them. I'm poor as people food. I guess I could cook them food to eat. Like my had an old uncle. He raised greyhound dogs and bird dogs, and this is way back there, uh, during the Depression. And of course, any kind of meat that was expensive, so he'd cook a mush, and he'd killed a possum or whatever, and he'd boil that possum and fillet it and this, that, and the other, and cut up the chunks and put it in the mush and feed his dogs. Mush is cornmeal, boiled cornmeal. They fed a lot of that during the Second World, Civil War to soldiers, especially in Andersonville prison. But anyway, so there's a way to survive. My theory about it right now, I hope if you shut the door right now and didn't go out of the house for 3 months, have you got enough stuff in your house, and be honest, to eat, to take a bath? They ain't shut off the water or nothing, but just to keep from going outside and adding to anything. I've been using Amazon, but what if you had to shut the door for 3 months? Between, let's say, 69, 70 days. Like I told people, I wonder how many people that could really do that. I don't think, even if you sued China, I don't believe that you get a dime off of them. Hell, they want to start a war as it is. They want to claim half the China Sea. And the Volkswagen is making cars by the Chinese prisoners. The whole damn world's crooked. I think, like I said, they said Trump didn't pay but $750 in taxes last year. Now, he paid Social Security taxes on his employees, yes, but his personal taxes, $750. That's because they left him a lot of loopholes. And hey, I use all my damn loopholes when I file my taxes. I don't even do it no more. My daughter does. She's an accountant for Devon Energy, so she basically knows how to do taxes and looks for all the crap. Yes, water would still work. I'm saying food, toilet paper, hand soap, deodorant, stuff like that. Your power would stay on, your water would stay on, all that, your gas would stay, all the utilities would stay on. I'm just saying, let's say there's no food in the grocery stores. There's no more drugs in the drugstore. There's no more nothing out there to go buy because everything is shut down. Could you make 3 months? And if you cannot make 3 months, then you need to start thinking about it seriously. I'd be pushed because I get medicine that's supposed to last 3 months because I get my medicine every 3 months. Okay, and I'm a hoarder, so I saved this pill, that pill. If I didn't take it, blah blah blah. So I've got a little extra. But a lot of people ain't got crap. I mean, they're worried about what's they're going to put on the damn table tonight, not what they're going to put on the damn table next week. Yeah, they don't have, but I'm saying if you went, if they, you got 3 months supply, because they will give you 3 months supply, and that's all I'm saying. Could you make it 3 months? It should be yes. You know, now do you have enough flour, salt, baking powders, chocolate? I mean, I'm going to go camping this year or next year, and I'm going to show you how to make, cream filled eclairs and stuff that you wouldn't make camping. You know what I'm saying? A souffle and oh, because you don't have to just eat, you know, canned beans or scrambled eggs when you're camping. I mean, you should be able to eat any damn thing that you can cook at home. You should be able to cook out there on the road. Because my little ambulance has got, I don't take the big bus, but the ambulance has got a microwave, a convection oven, a stove top. It's got mixers. I've got everything you've got at home, even an ice maker. Well, there you go, Jan. I mean, older people, they do canning and this, that, and the other. I sort of get tickled at people. I'm a homesteader, and they act like that's a great deal. Well, it really ain't, because we were all homesteaders and raised on a farm back in the day. Even people raised in the city canned and put up food and this, that, and the other. We all had to. You know, they'd buy tomatoes. They didn't remember the old Second World War victory gardens. Everybody had a garden, even if it was a windowsill garden. Tomatoes, radishes, so on and so forth, lettuce, and so on and so forth. I could show you how to raise a ton of food in my front room, and it's only 36 feet and 36 feet. You know, I can show you how to raise a ton of sweet potatoes. Actually, 1 ton, 2,000 pounds in let's say a 4x4x8. Yeah, a ton. And there's ways to grow stuff that we haven't tapped into. And if you're raising vegetables in the conventional sense, this, that, and the other, you know, there's hydroponics. There's everything. I mean, to me, I'd raise carrots and radishes in rotten bales of hay. But you raised Irish potatoes in between two pieces of newspaper. I mean, we should all have a bunch of seeds, pots, canning equipment. I mean, it's going to be up to us. And if it ain't up to you, then who are you going to depend on? The children? They don't know as much as you do about survival. Are you going to depend on the government, FEMA, Red Cross? You know, who are you going to depend on? I'm thinking right now, I've told my kids, because I ain't got that many of them, and my grandkids and my great grandkids, which the other ones are just kids of kids. But I put up 10 ton of dried products to help out my family in case of crisis. And I have in the past, and I have off and on, you know, but the biggest thing is if they're renting, then they need to get out of that situation if they possibly can. Own your own property. I don't care if it's a travel trailer. You cannot rent and stay afloat if there's no money out there. You can't put up food. I mean, if you got caught with your hands down right now, without no money, no food. Oh, this thing's want me to exercise. Well, look, crazy thing. But a lot of people are suffering, and the trouble of the government, they are really not that compassionate. And we've seen what Trump thought about it, but I don't think Biden's going to be any better when it comes to compassion, being compassionate. Yeah, he's saying, "Thank God I ain't in the same damn situation." You know, I guess all them kids of Trump will have to find new jobs when January the 20th. You know, I don't think I really wouldn't have put it my any if I was president. I wouldn't put any of my kids in that type of position. Some of them don't even have college degrees. How in the hell you without a college degree, let's say on economics or science or this that and the other, you gonna put them in the job like he put Pence over the task force. Hell, he wasn't a damn. He was a politician. He wasn't no damn scientist. And you shouldn't put a scientist in a politician place either. It works both ways. Well, Jan, like I said, and I ain't saying you're older, but you're old enough to realize that your folks were preppers from the beginning. They always put up stuff in the spring to last till Christmas. I remember wrapping apples in newspaper, old brown paper we had, and we'd put them in the cellar and put hay over the top of them. But we wrapped all of our apples and our pears and stuff so they could make apple pies at Christmas and stuff like that. I mean, we learned how to put eggs in lime water to keep them fresh for 6 months. Especially because chickens don't lay eggs mainly in the wintertime. They lay them in the spring and in the summer. So therefore, we had to put our eggs up so we'd have fresh eggs. You know, we did all kinds of things. We pickled them. We did everything you could imagine to have something. Later on the season. We used to do a lot of pickling. We used to do a lot of canning. We used to do a lot of uh, dehydration. You know. Hello, CR. Yeah, we're just talking about surviving for 3 months. But I believe everybody, the one preppers that I talk to, want you to buy now because it survived the 3 months. I'm saying it might be the 3 months after Biden gets in there. Because I believe if he does shut everything down, I think there'll be plenty out there. It just won't be able to go out there and get it. No, and I'm going to tell you something. They don't know how to make a living off the land, but I'm going to tell you something. I've heard so many preppers say, well, I'm going to kill the deer and blah, blah, blah. Well, I counted up the population in America versus the deer population. You might, if you're only half the people could get a deer. So what's the other half going to do? Shoot your cow, your horse, your dog? There's not that many. You better start thinking smaller, like a rabbit, a squirrel, a possum, a raccoon versus deer. You know what I'm saying? Because I think living off the land, they might not know how to live off the land, but the land is not the same land that there was when we was kids or when I was a kid. It used to cost a dime to ride the Annie Irving. It was a trolley car that went out to El Reno, Oklahoma, and came back to Oklahoma City, and went on, Choctaw, Norman, and so on and so forth, Edmond. Well, I used to take my 22, get on the old Annie Irving, go out towards El Reno, which was flat land, and you could see rabbits jumping, you could see antelope and everything else. I'd get me 6 to 8, 10 rabbits, get dropped off there in the middle, and the old boy would stop the Annie Irving. And then when on the way back, I'd give him a couple of rabbits for the ride, because rabbits, you can buy a rabbit for a nickel. And I'd have enough rabbits to do a little trading and selling and have enough to eat for supper or maybe a couple of days. I mean, we learned how to survive, but it's hard. Like I said, I don't know what the people are going to do. I'm trying to see what the temperature of my dog is. He's 82.8, 84, 83. He's 83 degrees. He's a little cool. My poor little dog. I like this thing. I bought it at Harbor Freight. It's got a red light in it. See it? Yeah. See the red light on my the red light? Infrared. I don't know what people are going to do. I'm just curious. Yeah, they got a lot of tame rabbits that went wild out there. I believe that if you're going to raise like rabbits, I could show you how to raise a ton of meat in a, let's say, a 12 by 12. You know, yeah, 12 by 12 pen. I learned a lot. I'm like that. What is it? Karate Kid. I used to live in California when I was a kid, and I learned a lot of stuff off this little Japanese guy. Well, he was actually Chinese or something. But anyway, that was during the war. They put him in the internment camps, and I lived close to one of these internment camps, and he showed me how to raise vegetables and all kinds of stuff that they had to raise inside that internment camp because the government wasn't feeding them all that good. Might as well say a concentration camp, but we called them internment camps over here to protect them after we took every damn thing they had. That's the truth too. No, they don't raise livestock. They don't raise gardens. They know Twitter and they know, let's see, they know the YouTube and they make their money like that. Well, that might all shut down. You know, I am going to monetize my channel when I get enough people watching, enough hours watching in a month. I have plenty of watch hours, but they're stretched over 5 or 6 years. I usually don't put up that. I put a video up every day, but I'm going to start doing live feeds every day. I'm going to do about an hour and a half live feeds every day till I get to where I can monetize. And then I'm going to use that monetization to buy my water up there in off my PayPal card because they don't accept my other government card because you have to put your credit card in and they PayPal they accept. They don't accept a bunch of stuff. And then you buy your 5 gallons of water or whatever. And hell, it's only like it's 100% of a penny per gallon, or 200 or 300% of a penny per gallon, so it don't cost nothing. But my PayPal take $5 a month off that thing, and I haven't never bought anything with it. I've had it for about, I don't know, 3 months, 3 or 4 months. Well, I spent more than that, about 6 months or a year, because they so far they took $75 away from me at $5 a month. So. Oh, that's a lot of times. I mean, that's why the pilgrims, everybody talking about the weather. Well, that's why the pilgrims, Canada has a Thanksgiving and so do we. If you make, it's like a show they had, the survival show. If you survive 2 years, you got it. Because the first year, the pilgrims would have starved out if it wasn't for the Indians feeding them. But once the gardens, it took 2 years for the gardens to take place. And you need to buy or keep the seeds, not the hybrid seeds, but what they call, well, the ones that come back every year. I forget the name of it. But that's what I mean, I got bought, and I keep mine in a wine cooler refrigerator. And that's what I do. And I change them out about every 3 or 4 years. What do they call them? The tomatoes that come back every year, like cherry tomatoes. They got a name of them, but I forget. Maybe somebody remember. They're not hybrid plants. They're natural, the original plants. Well, like I said, uh, I've seen, like I said, during wars and everything. If it gets bad enough, you got to booby trap your yard, or you've got to put sentries out there to protect your property. You can just about bet right then that the government's crashed. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get any assistance from the government. You're not going to get a welfare check. You're not going to get food stamps. You're not going to get disability check, Social Security check. You're getting nothing because the government be lucky to stay afloat itself. And that's what I'm saying. Then what are you going to do? Well, I think some type of government might be Russian government or Chinese government or Mexico government to take over by them. If our government crashed, I don't think it will, but I think it might run into dire straits. And like FEMA, they'll come 6 months after the fact. Well, that ain't going to help you if you're already 6 months dead. And like I said, they say we got 1 million cases in America. We got 250,000 people that's died. We could have millions of people that died in America, like 10 million, 5 million, and that would be shocking. But in some countries, they are facing that, you know. Well, that's true. You can't get. I think the government spoiled the people by giving them welfare without a work program to go with it. It's like this. You can give a man a fish and he eats for a day. You teach him how to fish and he eats for a lifetime. Remember that old saying? I think that they shouldn't have just given them something for nothing. They should have cleaned streets. They could have done everything. I mean, there's all kinds of programs out there that, restock, shield, put the books back in the libraries, a whole bunch of stuff. But anytime you give somebody without doing anything, they generation after generation is raised on this, and they don't know anything else. There's a woman that I know. She was a young girl. Uh, she had won a scholarship in art, and the point about it is, she dropped out, and then she got a boyfriend and got pregnant. Well, he didn't pay child support. She didn't turn him in. So they gave her a program and to go to school and support herself. Well, what happened? She got pregnant again. So she's got 4 kids. She got a pair of twins, but she got 4 kids by 3 different men. And now her last boyfriend, they're giving her a welfare check and a place to live and so on and forth. She's moved this derelict in. He's staying there, and for his birthday, she bought him a motorcycle and paid for it and making payments on it with the children's welfare check. Now, what about that? I mean, really? It ain't bad enough that you're not neglecting your children. You're taking the money that's meant for them and spending it on some dude. And that's what they need to put a stop to. The abuse of the Fair Act, for people. I ain't saying everybody abuses their disability check or welfare check. Now, people that didn't draw Social Security till they aged out to draw it, that's a different thing. They had this one woman that was climbing banks, looked like a mountain goat, couldn't climb, claimed she had a bad back and a bad knee, and she was on disability Social Security, and they finally caught her and somebody turned her in, and she lost her check. Hell, there wasn't a damn thing wrong with it. She just didn't want to work. And that stuff is going to have to come to a stop because we've got people that, if we didn't abuse the system, they could have gave every one of us $2,000 to stay home. I'm talking about the working class. Instead, they blowed all our money on foreign aid and everything else. I'm not going to get into the political side of crap. I'm just saying, try to put up enough food. If something did happen, you could push it back a ways for 2 or 3 months, because it's going to have to be there. I was thinking you start using my dehydrator. Yeah, you need a bumper zone before you have somebody knocking on your door and say, well, there's no more food, there's no more power, there's no more nothing. And we want what you got. Most places that take over, let's say if shit hit the fan, you're supposed to take all your food in this little town to the gymnasium, everybody, the preppers and the non-preppers, and then they're going to distribute it to people that didn't save. Does that make a lot of sense? Like, hell no. I put my stuff up for years. It ain't my damn fault if they didn't listen and they blowed and goed and this everything else. But that's FEMA's idea. They want a list of what you got. They want a list of your guns, your equipment, everything you got. National Defense does. A lot of organizations want that. They always, even if you get sick and go to the hospital, they say, have you got a wheel? Or you got a prime directive? All they want to know is what you got. Don't tell them nothing. That's my motto. I don't have to. Woman the other day, she wanted, I went and bought something and I was going to return it. And she wanted to put the return on my damn credit card. I said, well, wait a minute. I paid cash for this damn thing. First she said, can I see your credit card? I said, are you crazy? And I ain't going to have a strange business add money to my credit card or anything else when I paid cash. I said, hell no, I paid cash. You give me cash back. That's what I told her. She didn't understand the word no. I mean, that's what's wrong with this generation. They don't understand the word no. They can't even count your change back. Whatever that computer says it's the gospel. No, it ain't. I was a kid one time. I bought some milk, eggs, and something else. She wanted $50. I said, lady, I can count it up, and it comes to about $9 and something. Well, the computer says $49.72. I thought, okay. I said, I don't give a damn what that damn computer says or the cash register says. I said, I can add better than that. Yeah, they got, to me, I mean, everybody thinks I'm too harsh on people that's getting aid. No, if they need aid, then they should get it. It's the people that doesn't need the aid or they're stupid with the aid that they gave them. You cannot give what the government gives you to support children to some boyfriend. That's ridiculous. I mean, you need your middle check, and the kids need to be fed. You know what I'm saying? And don't tell me they'll be fine regardless of what she does. No, they have to do without clothing, food, or whatever. And besides that, she gets most of her food from the food bank, and she goes to the what is that other place that gives the churches and gives her clothes. I mean, she's playing the system really good, but that'll only last so long. Yeah, that'll happen, whatever. But like I said, my theory about it is the people that's trying to do everything they can do, and the government has let them down. And now they have to survive on their own. That's what I'm saying. If you have to survive on your own, you need at least 3 months worth of stuff put up. From toilet paper to fingernail polish, whatever the hell it is. You need to be, especially food and medicine, and, you should have so much gasoline put up, fuel, in case power goes out. We're all in a grid. Now, it don't mean that the grid, when the ice storm came, we were out of power for 7 days. And the guy down the road, he's still out of power. So it's going on 2 weeks or better. And like I said, and there's nothing they can do about it because they got to replace a bunch of poles. But the government can turn around and turn your water off. They can turn your power off. That's how they did it during in Poland. They shut all the water and power and electricity off of and that was it. You know, huddled them into the projects, and there they go, off to concentration camp in the gas chamber. Hopefully, it won't get that bad. Well, like I said, I mean, it ain't my place to try to tell that woman don't be spending nothing on boyfriend. She'll figure it out one way or the other. I just thought it was stupid. And I'm not the one to turn people in like that. I mean, I'd come more trying to talk to somebody or send somebody over there and say, hey, he's worth that much. If he's going to be your boyfriend, he should be helping you instead of taking from you. That's my motto. Well, thank you. I'm going to add you as a moderator. But the point about it is, it's just, I'm going to add him as a moderator too. If you don't want to be a moderator, you don't have to be. But I don't allow hatefulness and picking on other people and all that other crap. I think it's stupid. What I'm saying, we got to get along. If the government can't get along at all, we at least should be able to get along. I don't know what I'm going to do with my 4 dogs. They only got about 100 pounds of dog food left. I need to buy a whole bunch more. I don't like to keep a whole lot of it on hand because it does get old just like anything else. Tomorrow they're having chicken. I'm going to clean out the refrigerator and they're going to have fried chicken. I'll heat it back up for them. I mean, I believe in helping people. And, I believe that, okay, she got pregnant the first time. Shame on her. But when the third time come around, I mean, shame on us for saying, lady, you need to get fixed and do something. Because these poor little kids. And then they're raised up. Her mother was on welfare. And her mother was on welfare. So she raised 3 or 4 generations. That's all they knew. Shack up with some old boy, get another kid, and draw a higher check. That's all they knew. I'm thinking one of these days, all that's going to crash. And like I said, be prepared to support yourself. Be prepared to survive yourself. Don't depend on an organization. Don't depend on a bunch of good old boys to help you out in this situation. They'll all be looking for themselves. I've listened to him. I'm not going to say one way or the other, but a lot of people they put up a good stick and just so they can get a bigger check on YouTube. To me, I am going to monetize. That's what I'm saying when I get enough people that watches my 4,000 hours. But if I'm looking to make $5 a month because that's what my PayPal card charges me. $5 a month, and I'll be happy. I mean, and I'm affiliated with Amazon, or I'm trying to sell you a sleeping bag or something like that. I don't think it's going to happen. I just thought, well, everybody else monetizes, and they might show my videos to more people if I do that. That's what a person told me once. Said, lucky they're not showing your videos because you're not monetized, and they're still putting advertisement up on your channel anyway. I said, okay, then. That means if I'm working for YouTube, they should pay me. That's basically what it means. So I'm going to try that. I can always stop it. And the way they got it nowadays, you ain't going to get much monetization anyway. But up there, reason I got that PayPal card, up there where I buy the water from my little place up there in the mountains, you have to have a credit card you stick in there, and then you pump out 10 gallons or 50 gallons of whatever water you need, and it deducts it from that credit card. The trouble was, it only accepted a few credit cards, and I didn't have none of them. So I had to get me a PayPal card because it accepts them. What the hell the difference was. And you can't prepay either. I thought, well, that's stupid. I prepay my phone, my cell phone. I prepay a bunch of things like the insurance. They don't do that. Uh, Whatever, it's just a card. You slide in there, water, you punch out how many gallons it runs out. If it's overrun, still runs. There's no way to turn it off till it pumps out. God forbid you punch in 50 gallons and you only want 5 gallons and you put in too many zeros, you'd be screwed. Oh, good Lord. I'm having a good time, though, talking about stuff. I learned how, I've got my computer up. I don't ever use these little laptops. I bought 2 of them about a year ago. Windows 10 and then a little tablet. I like my little tablet better than Windows 10. I know how to run it. That's what counts. I know how to run that thing. People saying buy more guns, buy more bullets. Well, hell, you can only shoot one gun at a time. And in my theory, you shouldn't shoot 500 shells out there if you ain't hit nothing by then. Lay the gun down and run. Yeah, I believe in one shot, one kill. Ain't no sense lighting up the district. I do. Be like somebody one time. I went camping once, and they was trying to steal my generator and a bunch of other stuff. And I was down by the lake. I see, and I had my 50 caliber handgun. It's called a bear pistol. I just shot the motor in their car. I wouldn't have shot them. I just shot the motor in their pickup. I said, whoops. That would have stopped them. At least they couldn't have hauled off anything. Sometimes you don't have to shoot the person. You just shoot the vehicle. And the police officers have started using instead of a taser like I've got, they shoot a deal that wraps around their feet. Like the Caballeros in Mexico, they throw that thing and wraps around the cattle's feet. Yeah, they got a gun that does that now. Well, thank you. I need to sub you too. Let's see if I can sub you. Oh, hell. They're not here. Well, she needs a little help, this, that, and the other. But you have to watch the elderly. And I'm old enough, but I've been around a little bit. I've been taken a few times, a lot of times. And people know that's known me a long time. I got took pretty good size, about 10 grand once. I don't like the idea of being lied to. And it's another thing. If you lay down with dogs, you end up with fleas. Well, if you run around with whoremongers, child molesters, and perverts, that they're going to assume that you must be into that kind of stuff. That's another thing. See what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things I found out about people that I just stay away from. And and when I do find out about them, I just step back and stay plumb away from them. Well, thank you. Yeah, she's a nice person. I mean, and a church-going person, a Christian, a believer. And for people just to use them for their own gain, really, you need a dollar that damn bad. That's what pisses me off, really. That you would corrupt, and her being a woman, and I believe her husband's still alive, I believe. He's probably as old as she is. And another thing, really, a lot of people, they put money above anything else. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I've been rich, been poor, been rich again. Considered rich. I don't believe that money plays that big a part on who I am because I don't want it to. You know, I really don't want it to, because I mean, if that's all you think about is how to screw somebody else out of money, what does that lead about you? And then if you've not got the respect for women, well, wait a minute. I've had a mother, I've had aunts, I've had sisters, and I've had daughters. You know, the way some people talk about women, and I've heard uh, women talk about men the same way. You got to give the opposite sex respect. You know, they're like I said, they are somebody's mother, sister, aunt, whatever, child. And when they start doing that stuff, and a person, another thing, why do I have to have a photo on my phone of every woman I talk to? There's something wrong about that. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I don't believe I need a photo of any, that'd be like child pornography or some shit. Like I said, my kids said, I got kids in the 60s. And I'm saying, it'd be like me dating a 60-year-old woman. Okay. That would be like, well, they're a little too young for me, even though they're 60. Because hell, I'm 90. So that's 30 years my younger. They were shit. Now it's hard to find an 80, 90-year-old woman. But I'd rather just I started a group one time over in this little town. We all had RVs. And I said, we all need to get together, women and the men, because mine has a 2-bedroom. And I said, I wouldn't care if it was a woman or a man. If they want to go half on the gas and half on the days, we need to get about 10 RVs together. And that way, none of this one-on-one crap, and just have a community of us that travel around. Of course, like I said, a lot of it, they got involved with whoever they was traveling with, and that broke that up pretty fast. But yeah, I enjoy looking at the Grand Canyon, but I like to have somebody there with me and say, oh, look at that. My dogs look, but they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Well, thank you for doing that. But yeah, I ain't gonna say any more about that. You'll figure it out. She sent me an email, and she's a nice lady. And like I said, I told her a few things that I knew of. I said, go back, anything, go back and watch their channel. And that's just like I said, you'll find out what kind of person they are. That's what I'm saying. And like I told one guy that I don't loan money to friends. I'd rather give it and not expect it back. If somebody borrows something off of me, you never get it back in the same condition, or you never get it back at all. I try not to borrow off of anybody. And I've been fortunate here lately. I buy my own crap. Like this night vision. My son bought one too. He's a little bitty miniature one. It's got a SIM card in it, or whatever the hell you want to call them things, where it records. I like them, and I'm going to buy. I got one, but I need to buy some more. It's like you strap them to a tree, and an animal walks by, it takes a picture of them, and then it sends the picture to your phone, like my watch does. My watch, it'll tell you blood pressure and pulse and how many steps. I didn't go very much step. I only went 1,142 steps or something today. I usually get in about 9,000 a day, but today I didn't feel good, so I didn't do much walking. Yeah, you got to be careful who you associate with on YouTube, and try not to get too involved in them. You can be friends with people, this, that, and the other, but a lot of people wants to assume your channel is their channel, and no, they got their own channel, and you got your own channel, and you should be able to conduct it the way you want to, and they'll conduct theirs the way they think is right. Some of them don't think, but that's beside the point. I just hope everybody pays attention January the 20th forward. There's going to be a little civil unrest, this, that, and the other. That's fine. Right now is when you should buy up what you can. But I think if there's going to be a tremendous shutdown without no money, we need to put the extra can of tuna fish up. Or I'm not saying go wild and go crazy. What I'm saying is put up stuff that you normally would eat and it to last about 3 months. Because if they ain't got a handle on the COVID, it'd be January, let's say February the 20th, March the 20th, April the 20th. Let's say by Easter. If they ain't got this COVID whooped by Easter, I don't think they ever will. But between January the 20th and Easter Day, we should be able to support ourselves with what food we have in the house, you know. And that's if they shut everything down. Yeah, that's true. That is true, Fox. They don't. I mean, a lot of them will use you because you're a reputable person and a liked person, and this, that, and the other. But all they want to do is get people to donate to you through them, and they keep 90% of it, like the CEOs do on Goodwill or Salvation Army or any damn thing else, or Red Cross or FEMA or whatever. You know, I thought it was awful stupid wanting the individual to donate to the veterans. Wait a minute, that's the government's problem. They're the ones that got them in that shape, and now they don't want to take full responsibility. That's bullshit. You know, you know. It's like the ESP, whatever. They sell them dogs and cats and horses and stuff. Yep. To me, if you can't feed a dog, don't get one. That's my motto. If you can't feed livestock, don't get none. Because that's a choice, you know. If you can't afford, like I said, I get irritated at my dogs because I got 4 of them. I only wanted one. And I had a kind heart against another one that got thrown out of a truck. And I took her and she had puppies. So there you go. So I had to take all 4 of them. She ain't going to have no puppies no more. Yeah, this winter is going to be really show you what you're made of. And it's the winter. And the Bible tells you, pray that destruction don't come in the winter. Because it's going to make it twice, if not 3 times as hard. So there you go. No, don't start this stuff. I'm on the video. You guys have been out every hour, so you're going to have to wait. Baby girl starts that stuff. She knows if she goes outside, I usually give them treats when they come back in. I'm going to have to stop that. I'm going to have to skip when they go out to come back in so they won't make a habit of it. Then let's go out there and then turn around when we come right back in so they can get their treat. They're like little kids. That's like if you take them to the store, they want a present. If you buy them a present, they'll think every time they go to the store, they want a present. And that's little kids for you. That's right, little dog. Like I said, I don't know. I'm going to stay on here till about 9 o'clock, then I'm going to get off. But take what you're lacking of. If you need flour, make sure you got at least 20, 30 pounds of it. At least 20. If you're low on sugar, I was low on sugar and I had to buy some because I don't really eat raw sugar, but I thought, well, I better buy some because I can make so much things with a little bit of sugar in it. Think of things that you normally use and just buy extra. Just a little extra. Don't go out there and say, oh, I'm taking every can of Spam off the shelf. Even if you can afford it, what about somebody else? Have a little compassion for somebody else that maybe can only afford 1 or 2 cans of Spam. You don't need to take 40 of them and they ain't got none. You know what I'm saying? You should have done this over a period of time. Well, you can because you got 3 months now until January the 20th. A lot of people says, well, live between now. There really ain't gonna be much going on until January the 20th. Till the jig's up, he's got to get out and he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do because he's gonna hit us hard and heavy about you know wearing masks, wearing gloves, which we should be anyway, and isolating ourselves, shutting a lot of business down, so on and so forth. I look for that 100%, you know, and I look for it to start January the 20th. So the 21st, we're liable to have very few things open. And I couldn't understand why they kept Walmart open, but they closed a lot of Pops and Mom stores. Well, it should have been the other damn way around if you want the damn truth. Because there's more people going into Walmart than they would Pop and Mom Joy. And like I said, I heard the other day like 700 people can go into any Walmart before they're overcrowded. Really? Hell, if you look at what Christmas, and that's going to be another thing, Black Friday, Christmas. Look how crowded them stores are going to be. And you can't say that every one of them has not got corona. There's going to be one or two of them at least that's got corona in there floating around when you're floating around in there. Great to see you, Joe. I mean, it's just, to me, use your own discretion. If you can buy online, then buy online. If you have to go to a store like that, wear your gloves. Hell, double mask. So that way you can take the first one off and chunk it, whatever. I've got a face shield and everything. Hell, I've got even a hazmat suit somewhere in this house. I just bought, well, my son did for me, ultraviolet. It sucks in air, so it blows air on your face. And it goes through ultraviolet and plus two or three filters. It's got charcoal and everything else in. And it's a little bitty thing. It just fits your nose and your mouth. Don't even go over your chin. It's like a ventilator, real small ventilator. It don't go down your throat, but it blows air, forced air like an oxygen machine. And I've got a portable oxygen machine in here somewhere. I loaned so damn much shit out that I don't know where I ever got it back, but I think I know where this one's. I got two of them. A little portable oxygen machine. One that plugs in the cigarette lighter and one where it runs off battery. I've got all that kind of stuff, but I found out safer than that is just stay home. Well, we should all help our local. And we all should be prepared to a certain degree. What if that vaccine doesn't really work like they're saying? See, the first polio vaccine that came out, it gave a lot of people polio. Honest to God, it really did. And any vaccine or any medicines got a side effect. This stuff is so new, these vaccines and stuff like that. We don't know what the side effects are. We have no idea. So, like I said, the safest might be just stay home. And if you do buy, I'm even going to think about ordering my dog food and everything online, just have it dropped off at the porch, And I learned a lesson the other day, 1 star versus 4 or 5 stars. You're better off to order from a place that's got 4 or 5 stars than 1 star, because half the time you don't ever get this crap back. You don't ever get it. What did we order the other day? Some kind of camping stuff, and it never did come. Finally, Chris turned it in that he wanted a refund. So I guess he got a refund. So that's what happens is basically cover one's own butt. That's what you got to do. Okay, if you want extra things to protect your house, buy them if you can afford them. But there's simple things that you can do. Don't leave anything out on the law that can be construed as they want to, keep your garage door closed. Keep it locked if nothing else. Keep your cars locked. Don't keep anything in the front seats. Keep everything out of harm's way where they can get it. It's easy access. Uh, Try to keep your own security up. Like if you live your dog or whatever to let you know. Now they're not the one to protect you. Like people, oh, I got a Rottweiler, he's going to protect me. I got a Doberman Pinscher. But all a dog is to let you know that there's somebody out there. That's like my Chihuahuas. One swift kick and send them plumb across the room. But they hear everything. A little dog will hear more than a big dog. Honest to God, they really do. My Oreo, he hears everything. Uh, the point about it is, they're not going to defend you. Maybe they will in certain situations, give you a chance to get your own gun or whatever. But really, they're no match for a gun. They're no match for a burglar or a thief. What they are will let you know that somebody's out there and that could do you harm. Now that's what as good as a dog is. And in some deals, if you're bugging out, running or hiding, and then barking, they would probably let you know where the other people know where you're at. So there's good and bad about it in a prepper situation. And you can always eat one of the little fat dudes in a pinch. Oh, I'd rather starve than eat a dog. It'd be like eating a human. Yeah. But have consideration for other people, but don't let them use you. That's another thing. And don't take everybody in face value. Don't believe everything they say. I take everybody and believe them until they prove otherwise, but there's certain things that I'm not going to get involved with them anyway. I'm not going into partnership with them. If I give somebody something, I don't. What I gave them, I could afford to lose. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect nothing for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Well, uh, if I give it, I don't expect nothing back because I was going, because I didn't need it in the first place or whatever. I don't have the word that, but don't look for something back. There you go. Don't look for something back just because you've done something for somebody, because that's not fair to them, and it's really not fair to anybody else. Because if you were looking for something back, then you shouldn't have done it in the first damn place. That's my motto. Yep, there's a lot of things out there. I don't know where to get them sick, but you're right about one thing. If they're really not safe, because I worked in a lab for years, you have to change gloves, and I didn't see them doing that. You have to change gowns every time you pull up to somebody's car, or they pull up in their car, and you test them. You need to change your gloves and everything. Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, they ain't changing damn gloves in 50 tests. I mean, you got to tear that thing apart. So if you happen to tear it apart and some of that virus got on your glove, well, every time you tear it apart, you just add it to the next guy. Yeah, I did a blood test. I didn't do that nose thing. That's the way to go. I just took a blood test because I needed a bunch of other stuff done. And like I said, I just took the blood test. I had never had corona. And let's see what else they said. Uh, and I didn't have it then, and I've never had it. And I was pretty healthy. Now my doctors had corona, and his nurses had, because when it first came out, they all got infected. And my doctor said, "Well, I lucky. I don't know why you didn't get infected." I said, "Because when I showed up, did you see what I had on? I had a hazmat suit on with a Hudson sprayer with alcohol and peroxide, and sprayed everything down from the top to the bottom. And the only thing I had uncovered was my fingers so they could take an oxygen test. Mm. And I peed in a jar, and I gave blood, and that was it. And so they tested all that, and that was it. All right. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I said, I'll be shutting down here at 9 o'clock anyway, but I want everybody to be prepared. There's no sense going hungry. There's no sense not having what you need. I mean, if you like chocolate cake, then put back chocolate cake mix, the icing, so on and so forth. So you sometimes you need to have the comfort food. Sometimes you need uh, something extra. Order you something on from Amazon. Sometimes you need to lift your spirits. We have took a hell of a hit being depressed. Yeah, the president was right about that. There is a lot of people out there that's not able, and they're getting depressed. They used to go to the park, or they where they're or around people to their friends, or and they used to visit and communicate with other people. Well, that all changed. You just can't just knock on the door. Hey, John, I want to come over for the evening. That has to change. So therefore, you are depressed. So you should treat yourself every once in a while to something special. You know, maybe paint your fingernails if you're a woman. I don't know what the hell they do. If you're a man, buy you a belt, tie. I used to have got 1,000 ties. Uh, but treat yourself. Like I said, my son, he's buying some odds and ends. Like he bought this uh, uh, night vision, and I told him, I don't like paid for it, but it's a lot smaller than mine. But we had, like I said, treat yourself to some things. I'll tell you another thing: propane don't go bad versus gasoline or diesel. So if you got a generator, you might want to convert it over to propane, and you can put a lot of bottles up or 250-gallon storage tank. But even if you lived in an apartment, you can get the barbecue propane tanks at just about any 7-Eleven. Put up 2 or 3 up. That'll give you some heat. It'll give you start a generator, whatever. It'll give you a lot of things. Way to cook. Yeah. Uh, but like I said, it's going to be hard on us again. But I think it's going to be worse on us this time because we went so long. They should have had a shutdown 2 weeks after they found out it was over here. Complete shutdown. Nobody come in, nobody go out. That didn't happen. Well, right now they need to have a complete shutdown. It's going to be hard on us because it's been 8-9 months with all this other crazy stuff. We've not being able to do things that we normally do. I would love to go to a nice restaurant, dress up, suit, tie, a nice restaurant, sit down, have a meal, and tip the waiter $25 or $30. One of them once in a great while that you don't have to do every once every year or once every 6 months. Just for the hell of it, like, okay, things are back to normal. Celebrate. That ain't gonna happen. So therefore, I go into a restaurant, they throw some stuff in a styrofoam box, and that's what I get. I might as well be eating at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm getting at. It's just we went so long, basically, and now we'll have to do it again. Well, I don't know what else we can do to make our lives any better. Hopefully, the government sees our predicament and cares this time, really actually cares because we need it. We need that extra comfort care, especially the elderly, this, that, and the other. I mean, I can see people and being old myself visiting your relatives through a damn pane of glass. I mean, when my daughter came out, she stayed in the car and I stayed back 6 or 7 foot from her. Her daughter came out and she stood at one end of the driveway and I stood at the other. Well, that's about 25, 30 feet. I mean, you really don't get to say the things you want to say and cut up or whatever. I like to have a picnic, maybe, and we all get and sit 10 foot apart. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't want them in the same house, close contact like that Republican Party had, because all of them's got COVID now. Yeah, CR, you stay safe. And like I said, wear masks, gloves, and everything else. And respect other people. What gets me, some people now, they're saying, huh, you're wearing a mask. Well, respect my choice. And you should respect your, not only am I wearing it for my safety, but I'm mainly wearing it for your damn safety. Don't be intimidated what you got to do to stay safe. You see what I'm saying? You know, that's like in a war. When you're fighting hand-to-hand combat, you're not a gentleman. You're fighting to save your life. The same way with this COVID vaccine disease. You're not wearing that stuff to be friends with people. You're wearing that stuff to be keep yourself safe and stay alive. Same way with the military, this, that, and the other. So they do teach you dirty fighting and this, that, and the other. What they would consider on the street nowadays is dirty fighting. But it's to keep you alive. Same way with wearing masks, this, that, and the other. It's to keep you alive. If somebody wants to be that stupid, that careless, and you can catch it more than once, I found that out. So does that vaccine mean that you can't never catch it for how long? 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years, forever? So do you have to take multiple vaccines every year? I mean, nobody's answered any of these damn questions. Yeah. So there you go. Come on, you crazy folk. Hello, UFO. Yep. I believe in a lot of sense, everybody said, well, it was made in a lab. Okay, I worked in a lab for years and years and years. It could have been made in a lab, but highly unlikely. But let's say it was. Things get out of control, and like I said, it spread worldwide. So therefore, the Spanish flu, they always talk about the Spanish flu because we was at war. And Spain wasn't. It was a neutral country. So therefore, it got to evaluate all of the aspects and everything else. And that's why they called it the Spanish flu. But the first case that they ever had was up here in Kansas. I think it was Kansas or Missouri. A soldier had it. He was the first one to get it, and he survived over it. But worldwide, there was millions of people died from the Spanish flu. But it actually started in the United States. So somebody said earlier, well, should we sue China for the virus? Well, they could have sued America for starting the virus. And it literally just started. It wasn't starting in a lab. So you can't really do that because basically, if it ain't man-made, it can start it anywhere. They claim now the Ebola virus is in the mountain lions in the Grand Canyon. One of the guys that work in their what do they call it? Rangers that works in the Grand Canyon picked up a carcass from a mountain lion, and he called Ebola. And so the Ebola is out there in the nature, just in the wild, just like this virus here is. And due to global warming, I know people don't want to hear it, climate change, whatever the hell you want to call it, there's been diseases that's been dormant for millions of years. And it's coming back to active because of the ice melt. You see what I'm saying? And like I said, I believe the dinosaurs were dying way before the damn meteorite hit the earth because hell, they couldn't even see a damn mosquito. But if that be the case, there's millions of diseases that's out there that is went extinct, and now they're coming back because of global warming and stuff. You know, and for as me, I ain't got that many years left to worry about it. Well, if Biden stole the election, hell, there's a lot of people stealing shit. I don't believe he did. I believe that people made their choice. I think they should count and recount the vote to make sure it was up and legal and above and everything else. But I don't believe anybody stole anything. I believe that people spoke and that's what they wanted. You know, I believe that is he going to cure everything? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I don't think he's the miracle worker. I don't think he's Superman. I don't think. I think it's we got a lot as individuals. We have a hard road to hoe, and it's up to us to survive it. You know, let's put it this way. I don't think political stuff is going to it's going to make it or break your survival. I think it's up to you. If you want to act careless and reckless, you're liable to catch it, and then your chances of surviving, depending on your health issues, your stamina, this, that, and the other, will you survive or not? Do you think Trump really give a shit about the 250,000 people that's died? You think Biden, he's looking for the future about cure? You know, yeah, he might have cured about 250,000 people, but nobody's come to the realization of a good plan other than wash your hands, wear a mask, and stay away from people. I mean, that's the number one plan. Well, how they going to do that and still go to work? Well, they never figured that out yet. You know, that's what I'm saying. So therefore, us people that does not have to work, that's old and on Social Security or pensions or whatever, they don't have to work. Then don't get out there. Disability people, stay home. You got a disability. Uh, uh, People that doesn't have to get out there, don't get out there. If you're a housewife and your husband works, you should, or vice versa, you should make it where all his clothes is done, stepped in, stripped nude, go to the shower, and take a shower. His clothes automatically go into the wash machine to be washed and sterilized. And he should wear a mask and gloves whenever possible. I mean, it's up to you to protect your family. You know, so if somebody dies in your family, does that mean you didn't do your damn job? I don't know. How much did you do? Don't feel guilty if you've done every damn thing you possibly could do, but you should feel guilty. It's all hell, it ain't nothing. It'll go away in the spring. Well, no, it ain't worth the way it happened. I'm basically give up on politics. That's why I decided I'd be an independent. I ain't gonna be a Democrat or a Republican. You know, I had a backache here a while back. Nobody helped me with that. I even bought patches. I had pain pills. I had every damn thing. It still hurt. I still cried. Uh, well, if they did come out in numbers to vote, it's over with. What the hell? Do we want a civil war over a botched election? No, I don't think so. I don't think anybody would want a civil war over something that, okay, they need to check it. Make sure that the votes are correct. If it changes where Trump is actually the winner, then damn right he should be the winner. If 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 Biden's the winner, then he's the damn winner. But I'm going to tell you something. If they claim that neither one of them is the winner, guess who gets to be president? Now, I'm going to shock you. Uh, Panties off this time. Pelosi gets to be president. That's under the law and that's under the Constitution. So, how many out there on both sides want Pelosi to be president? You know, they will not give it to Trump and they will not give it to Biden. If it's a botched election, she automatically steps in for 4 years until it can be redone and reelected. And they won't make an emergency election. It'll be 4 years later after her reign of 4 years. So if you want her to be president, just don't accept neither one of them. I guarantee, and that's what'll happen. I can guarantee it now. How many people out there wants Pelosi as president? Talking about a tree hugger. Maybe we need a tree hugger. Hell, I don't know. I sort of like her, but that's I liked Bernie Sanders too, though. I like that socialized medicine. Shit, yeah, I go for that. But the way the Constitution wrote, Pelosi will be president. I don't care if it's a woman or a man. There's been Queen of England was a woman. She run England pretty damn good. Elizabeth did. We got a German counselor woman that's running Germany right now. We've had prime ministers that were women. Women can run it just as well as men. I think the only thing a woman can't do that a man can't do is, the few sexual things, and that's about it. For as run a country, hell, I don't think that has anything to do with male or female. I've seen tough ass women during wartime, and I've seen pussy ass men during wartime. So I don't think female or male has much to do with any damn thing. I think anybody can do anything anybody else can. I don't want to have children, so that's out of the question. Before as hell, some of the best cooks are men. Some of the best tailors are men, seamsters or whatever you call them. Same way with surgeons or whatever. I've seen women surgeons just as good as men. The woman that did my radiation when I was, she was a woman from India, damn good in her field. Probably wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for her. So I think male or female, I think that's just too much nowadays of chauvinistic bullshit. It's like a black woman or a black man, or can a black man do more than a white man? Hell, I don't, bullshit. That's all bullshit. That's just, prejudiced bullshit. I don't like period of that. I'm not prejudiced. I'm going to get your butt, though, little dog, if you don't quit that itching. I got that spray up there that the vet gave me for your chronic itching because it's all in your damn head. Yes, it is. Here he comes. Come here, test my finger. See if I need sugar. Now, let me see. Let me read. I think Pelosi would run it. I mean, hey, I think, let's see. Well, hell, I think the Queen of England could. She's been running the damn government over in England for about 80 years. Even though they had a bunch of, I think if you're thrown into a position, male or female, young or old, you either stand up to the plate or get off the damn pot. You know what I'm saying? I believe to me that no one human's any better than any other human. Color, religion, race, female or male. I think that humans are humans. Now, do I believe that we have extraordinary humans? Yeah, we sure do. The most smartest man in history gave up on society. Yeah, he was smarter than Einstein. He had 259. It was his IQ, 259. Einstein was only 100 and something. Yeah, he gave up on society. I'm afraid that that's what I'm afraid that people are more politicians than they are humanitarians. I want them to get this damn coronavirus under control, get the shit over with. I believe nowadays it'll never get back to normal. I believe we'll be wearing masks and gloves from now on. That'll be the new look. Due to pollution, due to diseases, from now on. You know, I don't want to look 5 years down the road like China does nowadays. Even before the virus, you've seen people over there wearing masks because of the smog and the pollution and so on and so forth. I don't want that for the world. Is the new look. Hush, boy. You know, I want everything to get back. I want us to pay attention to the environment. Use solar and wind and hydroelectricity or whatever we got to use before we use fossil fuels of any kind. Are they going to do away with gasoline cars and this, that, and the other? Maybe in 100 years. And it will be right around the block. I don't believe that, look, we got chainsaws, lawnmowers, uh, all kinds of vehicles runs off gas. So I don't think they're going to do away with that anytime soon. You know, in the Bible, it says the rich will serve the poor. You know how true that really is. You know, no matter how rich you are or how much power you got, it's the little guy that gives you that. You see what I'm saying? And you will serve him. That's just like they all went out there and spent millions of dollars for the people's votes. So in a way, they did serve the poor. Oh, they had this convention. In other words, they were making their bid for the White House, both sides. So they were serving the poor. And to me, being honest with you, you know, if you're not willing to serve the poor or whatever, or serve humanity, let's put it that way, then why in the hell are you running for public office? What it is for your own gain, your own money, this, that, and the other. Help your cronies. I mean, they claim that Trump owed $400 million to Putin because of some kind of deal he made with Putin. I'm talking about a tower over there or whatever. But anyway, if that's the case, if he sold his country out for $400 million, they should shoot him for treason. And a federal prison does not have euthanasia, they don't give you a shot. You either get to be shot or hung. So therefore, if a person committed treason against the United States, they should be either shot or hung, and no in between. But that'd be a hard one to prove. They claim that when he gets out of the White House, he's got a bunch of lawsuits ahead of him, from rape to all kinds of shit. Who in the hell knows? I'm more worried about who in the hell's going to be my damn mayor than I am to who's going to be president. And who's going to be our sheriff? Who's going to be, sit on our city council? To me, he fired one guy because he wouldn't bring the military in against the citizens of the United States. That ain't their damn job. I've been in the military. You're supposed to protect the American citizen, not so much our government, but you're supposed to protect the American citizens against foreign and domestic, regardless of what. Okay, you cannot have the military firing on our own people. That defeats their purpose. You see what I'm saying? You can stage the Supreme Court with 3 people you put in there. At a certain time, do you really want a civil war in America over a president of any kind of president? Hell no. You do not want a civil war. You don't want brother against brother, father against son, so on and so forth. You don't want civil war. You don't want any war inside the United States borders. Because been to war. These countries that has a war like France, Germany, and so on, they quickly become a third world nation. You see what I'm saying? Quickly. I'm not helping you up here. Go away. That's all you're gonna do is get up here and bark. I ain't gonna have it. That's true too. I like what Ruth said. You want to see the dogs? Okay. Let me get my camera. There's two of them. She's stretching. That's big boy and baby girl. Ori. He's right down there. There he is. There he is. There's the old man, the old grouch. And the little guy, I don't know where he's at. He's covered up in the floor over there with all these. There he is, right there, and covered up with all of these blankets. He's collected all the blankets, baby blankets. There's a treat I bought. They had them on sale, so I bought some. I gotta be careful on some of them treats. There's my baby girl. There's baby girl. Boy, you're not getting up here because you just want to go over and bite big boy. All you want to do is throw a fit. But now, like I said, it's after 9. And like I said, I'm thinking about monetization. Somebody told me that, might as well monetize. And I thought, okay, since it ain't costing nobody nothing, I don't want a Patreon. I don't want to GoFundMe. I don't want to mooch and beg off anybody. I thought, well, I got a PayPal card that charges me $5 a month. Maybe I can make $5 a month on YouTube from monetization to put back the $5. They've already took $75 out this year, and I ain't never bought anything on this card except a few gallons of water. That's why I got the card. Up there where I bought the land, they got a water station, and you put your card in, and they didn't accept any of my cards, so I had to buy a separate card, and I got a PayPal because they accept PayPal. So I decided I'd make, if they give me back $100 a year, well, that'd be a blessing and a half. I wouldn't have to be spending out no money other than what I pay for water. They wouldn't be taking anything off my card. I've been on this YouTube long enough. I've been on it 5 or 6 years. And I didn't know you had to have 4,000 watch hours in a month. So shit, they said, I talked to a friend, he said, well, go live. I said, I'm going to start going live every day. And then then I'll slow down to maybe once every other day or every 2 times a week or whatever. You dogs are spoiled rotten. I'm going to start doing some cooking and showing you that even though you're traveling across country or whatever, you can make fancy food, stuffed crabs and all this other crap that you usually make at home. Because hell, as long as I got the convection oven, the microwave, and the ice maker and everything else, even though I'm staying in the ambulance, I might as well be like I'm staying in a big house. Me and the dogs, I'm gonna show you some things you can cook for dogs. Yeah. Dehydration and stuff like that you can cook and put up for your dogs, so you don't have to keep buying them that rotten dog food that they don't like in the first damn place. I'm going to let you guys go. And remember, be kind and considerate for everybody. Jimmy Rance was on here. I didn't see him. I liked old Jimmy. Regardless of what, there are a lot of people I like. John 14, chapter 6 verse. I don't know if they had 14 chapters or not. Well, they got that. It's actually 14 feet, 6 inches. What that means either. I'm going to have one tomorrow night about 7. I'm going to get my 4,000 watch hours. Look out. We'll talk about anything and everything. Should we have a re-election? Should we start from scratch? Should we just shit can both of them and make Pelosi president? There's all kinds of possibilities. how to make jelly stuffed biscuits. Man, I can do that too. Since I'm going live, I'll be honest with you. I could do a cook video instead of have to do it in 2 or 3 stages, because my videos, like when I do that on my phone, they have to do it every 15, 20-minute stages. I just go live and then we start from start to scratch. Yeah. I got a bunch of bananas I need to dehydrate anyway. Oh, I can make some caramel banana sauce. Oh, you would not believe. You can put it on ice cream. You can put it on pancakes. And you just use bananas after they've softened and ripe. I like to do a video on it. And you caramelize them. Oh my God, they're delicious. No wonder I'm a diabetic. We're going to show you how to make chocolate covered cherries from scratch. I think I'll make dog food. Show people how to make really, really, really good dog food for your dogs. Yeah. I'm a biologist, and ain't that damn far from being a nutritionist. Yeah. How I go back to school? Hell, you need to always go back to school. Being 90 years old, go back to school. In fact, I think when you're a certain age, it don't even cost you to go to school. I could teach a class plus get a free class. How about that? You guys, thanks for everyone for coming by and saying what they believed in, there's no right, there's no wrong. You know, we had a great night. There's nobody pushing their opinions over on somebody else, but still had the right to say what they believed and what they thought of. And that's the way the world should be. You know, I enjoy other people's opinion. You know, if it was all just my one way, that'd be pretty damn boring. You guys take care. I will talk to you later. And have a great one. That's what counts. I gotta go tend these dogs before they run off. Throw me to the curb. Take care. Have a great one.